great to see you. Again, there's a lot to discuss, but I'm happy to report that we've made significant progress since we last met as a country. As you know, the enhanced surveillance regime will be coming to an end in August, and we all put a lot of work in making sure that this very painful chapter for the country, which essentially started 12 years ago, is coming to an end. And of course, on various topics that are of interest to you, I think we've made good progress on many files, and I would like to thank you personally, but also your services. I think we have a very good and honest cooperation. But also regarding digital, which I know is your great passion. I think we've done a lot in Greece on that front. We used COVID as an accelerator to really push through digital services at an unprecedented pace. And of course, there's a lot that remains to be done also in terms of digital infrastructure. I know you had a good meeting also with Minister Pierakakis, and we're really looking forward to using the RRF funds to further drive through this transformation. But and of course, I would also like to congratulate you on your leadership regarding the European initiatives that we've taken in the digital space. I think it is important that there is a cutting-edge regulatory public policy making regime which is emerging out of Europe when we are talking about big tech companies, with all the benefits that they bring. We should not recognize that there's also another side that we need to pay attention to. So my personal congratulations regarding your unwavering sort of energy in terms of investing in this very important file.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate very much you saying this because it's all up to the teams. The work that has been done over the years and the digital files, many people have been engaged and focusing. Same thing, I think, on all the aid that was needed during the pandemic. Teams working 24/7. And working, I think, very well with our colleagues here in Greece. So it is a work of teams that makes it happen. But, it has been more or less a visit of congratulations because, what Greece has achieved over the last years is really, it's impressive. And it's, we're in this macro crisis of war, energy, inflation, climate. And I think, unfortunately, that sort of subdued the celebrations that ought to be held for the enhanced surveillance to stop. Because the fact that this has been achieved, I was there firsthand watching this. And back then, I think a lot of people, they doubted if this was possible, if this would ever going to happen. And now when it's a success, of course, it has many fathers. But I think rightfully, your government has been doing a lot to make this happen. And it should also not, I think, be untold the pain and the sacrifice of the Greek people in order to get here. Because it has been painful. It is painful to correct an economic path that has been so wrong. So I think also in that respect, it says something really, really impressive also about the Greek society. So I think that should be sort of, it ought to, but you know how it is with news? Good news, page 4, bad news, front page.
Although, every time when we get to this time of the year, end of June, beginning of July, we remember what happened in 2015 and how close we came to a complete catastrophe. We paid a very heavy price for choices that were made during that year. But I think you're right to point out that Greek society has proven incredibly resilient. But we've also demonstrated that you can shift from a low growth to a high growth potential, while at the same time making sure that the growth is inclusive, that we address the concerns of the young people, that it is digitally smart and environmentally sustainable. This is what we're trying to achieve, and our goal, and my personal goal, was always to not repeat the mistakes of the past. We want a growth that is investment-driven, innovation-driven, and not consumption-driven, fueled by debt. So we're very conscious of the fact that whatever we do in terms of public intervention needs to be viewed within the constraints of our fiscal policy, and that is why we've been able to, I think, target our measures, also our post-pandemic measures, or measures related to inflation, in a smart way. But you know something, if it were not for the digital transformation, we would not have been able to do so. I'm sure there are European countries that cannot deliver right now targeted assistance because they simply don't have the ability of their various databases to talk to each other. So when we want, for example, to deliver now a targeted approach, we can actually do it. We were not able to do so 3 years ago. We would have relied on horizontal measures which we know are ineffective.